everybody. Welcome to Mindset Monday.
Awesome.
Yeah. Welcome, you guys. I am your host, Erica Beach. We are covering something awesome today, very relevant to pretty much every athlete that I've ever met. This week's topic is about short memory, strong mindset, the week after a tough loss. Some sports you have less or more time, depending on your sport, to recover from a poor game or poor performance. We've talked about immediate responses to mistakes and negativity that may happen in competition, but we haven't talked about how do you recover after a bad loss and you kind of enter into the week after that loss to get prepared for your next tournament, next game, next outing. We all talk about how we respond in game to the mistakes, but it's all about the days after and how you use that to get prepared and to use it to your benefit. And the way you handle the week after a tough game says more about you than the actual game itself. Number one, having a short term memory doesn't mean you pretend it didn't happen. A lot of people think having a short term memory means you don't care or you're moving on too quickly. It's not about that. You don't pretend it didn't happen, but you're not carrying the emotion tied to it. You want to keep the lesson, but you do not want to hold on to the emotion after a bad loss. A bad loss, you will have that bad emotion. You will have all the feels, all the things. And it's totally natural. Anybody who's competitive knows that when you lose, it hurts. I'm not saying don't feel, don't be mad, don't do all those things, but it's all about how quickly you can process and how quickly we can recover and how quickly we can use the lessons from that to make us better and to get prepared. A lot of athletes will do one or two different things. They can go in different directions. One, you might have the athlete who obsesses over the loss or their performance like the whole week. They can't let it go. That's one side you can go to. The other side are athletes who ignore it completely. They kind of protect themselves emotionally, and as like a defense mechanism, they'll literally do everything in their power not to think about it and to ignore it. Neither one of those is necessarily the right thing to do. Somewhere in the middle is where you will find the sweet spot when it comes to utilizing failure to build towards future success. The things that we want to do is you want to feel it, you want to reflect on it, go back and actually think about it, learn from it, take the lesson from the loss, and then let it go. You can't take yesterday's game into tomorrow, whether it was your best game or your worst game. Can't come with you. There's kind of two fronts here that will play. It's going to be individual and team when it comes to recovering after a loss. Number one is going to be the individual reflections. We're going to go through with each athlete, and basically they're, in a sense, giving themselves a report card. They're going through and reflecting on their personal performance. What went wrong? What happened? The important thing is you can do this the day of the loss, like after the game, but then also do it again the next practice or the next time you guys are together, because being able to separate the emotions from it might help them process the downfall a little bit differently. This is where the strong athletes are going to separate themselves. Okay, so you want to ask simple questions. What went wrong? Was it effort? Was it focus? Was it your preparation? Was it execution? Was it actually in your control? Going through those simple questions with each athlete, having them narrow down the things that they personally could have done better. Not having emotional responses, not having the I played terrible, it's vague and it's negative and all that. Using language like, okay, I rushed myself during that play, which led to a bad throw. I wasn't focused every pitch. I felt that my focus was slipping and I was not great at staying locked in every pitch. So it's very much more control based, things that you notice that are controllable. Clarity is going to remove emotion. So when they are answering these questions, make sure you're having them be clear with their language. And I'm telling you, it definitely will help to take emotion out of it. And with the younger athletes, the younger you get, the more you're going to have to guide them in learning how to evaluate performance and separating it from emotion and get them to start to understand what they're looking at as far as the things they could control. Once your athletes have given their kind of report card, self evaluation, then it's time to go to work. Now it's about the physical and mental resets during the week to really help utilize those mistakes to help prepare for success. So the biggest thing is about how we show up for practice the week following bad games or bad outings. As a coach, it's very important that you're not tying the level of performance to how you interact with your team. At the end of the day, the wins and losses, all of those things are something that you guys do, but it's not who you are. So as a coach, it really starts with you as far as showing emotional maturity, emotional consistency. It helps to reinforce to the players that no win and no loss is the end all be all of the work. We have to understand that a win or a loss is just a win or a loss. Like whether it's the championship or a pool play game, like it's a win or a loss. Like moving on, like let's continue to get better, right? Yes, it hurts and all of that, but as a coach, we have to make sure our response is appropriate and that our response demonstrates consistency, stability, reliability to our players. Yes, that was a loss. And then as a coach, you're focused on what could I have done better as a coach? And then what could my girls have done better or my boys have done better to secure a better result from the game. And then that week, you're going to work. We are on our path to improvement from what we saw during that game. The most important thing is a strong mindset shows up in how you practice that week. Do you bring better energy? Are you more focused on details? Are you intentional with your reps? Those little things are important when you show up to the field. Remember, practice is where the confidence gets built. And the confidence gets built not by talking. It's not from just having conversations. It's from doing the right things over and over again. That's where the confidence gets built. It's in quality repetitions, focused work that you know is helping you improve those little things. You earn your confidence back in practice. Remember that. Now we switch to the team growth. So during the first part, it's all about individual. You're having the individuals reflect, all of those things. You're going to work. They're individually rating themselves, trying to make sure that they're bringing the effort and the energy and the attention to detail. But now we're talking about a team. Now it's team focus. Average teams let a bad game divide them. Great teams use it. That's huge. The great teams will use it. They ask, what can we do better? How can we improve? Where did we break down? How do we respond together? It's not finger pointing and being like, well, I did my job. Most athletes might have that instinct at first to defend themselves and say, well, it wasn't my fault, because as humans, we don't want it to be our fault. Teaching the team to kind of, as a group, take ownership is big, where we start saying we instead of I and me. You have to own the loss together. You have to. There is always something that everybody could have done a little more, a little sharper, a little bit, that little extra that could have contributed in a positive way. So the best teams will make that focus on we. And the best teams understand that a tough loss, it can either weaken you or it can strengthen you. You can go in two directions, and it's your choice. So the best teams will choose to let that bad outcome, that struggle, strengthen them. And when a team buys in together, that's when the breakthroughs start to come. My last point with this is all about turning it into fuel. Changing your mindset is really important when it comes to a bad loss. A lot of athletes and coaches will just go, that game was terrible. It was a rough game, rough inning, rough quarter, whatever, right? Here's the mindset shift that you want to think about. Rather than going, that game was terrible, you say, that game showed us exactly what we need. Do you feel that shift in how you perceive a loss? That game was terrible. It drags you down emotionally. It ties all this negativity to it. Rather than saying, oh my gosh, that game showed us exactly what we need. Boom. Tell me that doesn't change it from failure to fuel, right? When I hear that statement of that showed us exactly what we need, my brain starts going, okay, how can we use it? How can we use it? What can we do? It changes from feeling like a failure to being fueled into action. And I love that mindset shift. So remember that after a tough outing, change that mindset. It's all in your control about how you perceive it. And then you can use that fuel, you use that mindset for better practices, better focus, better communication, all the things that will lead to your success. So that is where we have the little switch up from setback to set up. Now we're setting ourselves up for better games in the future. And here's the nuts and bolts of it. Yes, have a short term memory, but make sure you let go of the frustration, the embarrassment, the emotion. But the most important thing is to keep the lesson and build a strong mindset by how you use it and how you respond to it the week following a bad game or a bad tournament. The greatest teams don't waste a bad game, they use it. And that's it for this week's Mindset Monday. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was a great topic for you. I enjoyed chatting about it. It was very relevant to me because we just had some tough games, and honestly, that's what made me think of this, is that we all go through tough games. The best teams in the country, the best professional teams, the best college teams, all have bad games, all have bad days. But it's all about how you use it to fuel yourselves to attack the next competition. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys tuning into Mindset Monday. I hope you're enjoying the series. I know I'm having fun creating these videos for you. Thanks, you guys.